In this specific video, our presenter Joshua is going to talk about social media content where you're driving traffic to your offers, innovative ways that you can transform that traffic to your own personal database of customers who are interested in the product and services that you are offering and are able to give you all the information that's needed so that you can provide premium services to them. So take it away, Joshua.
Thanks, Peter. Let's dive into a problem that I know drives so many of us absolutely crazy. How do you turn all that marketing effort that feels like you're just spinning your wheels into an actual AI-powered growth engine? It's time we finally fix that leaky bucket. You know the story. You do all the hard work. You get people to your website. You can see the traffic numbers. But then, poof, nothing. They show up. Maybe they click around for a second. And then they're just gone. It is such a huge missed opportunity. And honestly, one of the biggest headaches online. And this is exactly what it feels like. You are stuck on a hamster wheel. You're pouring all this time and energy and maybe even money into your content and your ads. And for just a split second, you think, hey, this is working. And then they're gone. Without a single trace, it's incredibly frustrating. Well, there's a name for this. It's the classic leaky bucket problem. You're working so hard building new traffic, new potential customers into the top of the bucket, but it's just leaking out of holes in the bottom just as fast as you can fill it. Makes you wonder if anything you're doing is actually making a difference. So what's the traditional solution here? It's always been the lead magnet. That free guide, that checklist, you give it away in exchange for an email. But the old way of doing this is exactly why the bucket stays leaky in the first place. Let's break down why. It almost always boils down to two critical and totally avoidable failures. The first failure is, you're flying blind because you have no real data. And second, there's this void, this complete lack of an emotional connection that actually makes people care. And that brings us to that first point. I mean, just imagine making a sale and having absolutely zero idea how it happened. That's what it's like when you don't use trackable links. These are simple things that tell you exactly where a click came from. Without them, you cannot improve, you cannot optimize, and you can't double down on what's working. You are quite literally flying blind. And this right here, this perfectly illustrates that second failure. On one side, you've got a headline that's fine. It's factual. 10 tools for web designers. But on the other side, you have an emotional hook. It starts with a feeling. Overwhelmed by options. It connects with a real pain point here, and then it promises a real transformation. That will save you 5 hours of grunt work a week. That is so much more powerful. And here's the key insight, the thing you have to remember. Your customers don't buy when they understand you. They buy when they feel understood by you. That feeling of being seen and understood, that's what creates a real connection. That's what turns a random visitor into a loyal lead. So how do we fix this whole mess? This is where the AI-powered solution comes in. And look, the rise of these new AI tools isn't just about writing faster. It's about completely revolutionizing the entire process and smashing through all those old challenges we just talked about. And this is not some far-off futuristic trend. The speed of this change is just unbelievable. We are seeing absolutely exponential growth in traffic that's being fueled by these new technologies. What started as a huge launch has just kept accelerating. This is happening right now at lightning speed. The key thing to understand is that whenever you have a massive disruption like this, it always creates a massive opportunity. This is not a moment to be scared. This is a moment to get really, really excited. We are in a genuine gold rush for anyone who is willing to adapt. So how does this actually work? And how do you implement this powerful tool? Let's break it down into a new, incredibly simple blueprint that anybody can follow. The whole new approach really just boils down to 3 simple steps. First, you go ahead and pick a proven template, so you're not starting from scratch. Second, you write a great detailed prompt for the AI. Think about giving it a specific role to play, a very clear target audience, and a single clear goal. And third, and this is the most important part, you refine and polish that output with your own expertise. It's so important to remember this. AI is your co-pilot, not your replacement. It's going to give you an incredible first draft, way better than a blank page, but it's not the final product. That refinement step where you inject your unique stories, your specific knowledge, your voice, that's the magic ingredient that turns something generic into something truly valuable. And the change in your actual day-to-day workflow is just the difference between night and day. You go from juggling, a dozen different apps that don't talk to each other to one unified system. You go from days of frustrating work to getting a quality draft back in minutes. And you finally move from pure guesswork to a process that's actually data-driven and trackable. So when you get right down to it, this new process is about so much more than just fixing old problems. It frees you up to focus on what really matters, building a stable long-term asset for your business. And this highlights a really critical difference. Your social media followers, Yara, that's akin to rented land space. Well, their algorithm can come along and just wipe out your audience overnight. It's gone. But an email list, that is an owned asset. It is a direct, unfiltered line to your most dedicated audience, and it's something that you control forever. And the power of that owned asset is just astounding. Just look at this number for a second. 3,800%. That's the average return on investment for email marketing. It makes it one of the most reliable and predictable ways to build a business, which, by the way, is the first step toward a much, much bigger goal. So let's zoom out for a minute. These tactics, these tools, this whole idea of building a predictable business, they are all in service of something much bigger. This isn't really about getting more leads. It's about what that stability allows you to build in your own life. Now, I'm sure we've all heard the dream of passive income, but there's a really compelling argument that this idea, it might just be one of the most seductive lies out there. See, the real goal isn't to stop working. It's something much more powerful. The real goal is financial independence. And no, this isn't about being lazy. It is about gaining absolute control over your single most valuable resource, your time. It's the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want for as long as you want to do it. And getting there requires a really profound mental shift. You're not just saving money anymore. You are purchasing independence. Every single dollar you earn and save is like a down payment on your own future freedom. So with all that said, the question now turns to you. With these amazing new tools and this new way of thinking at your fingertips, what are you going to build? The technology isn't on its way. It's already here. The tools exist right now to finally fix that leaky bucket, to stop all the guesswork, and to start building real human connections that actually lead to sustainable growth. So the only question left to ask is, what problem will you solve first?